Call the member for Bradfield.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Mr Deputy Speaker, recently I had the great pleasure to be at the opening of the Taiwan Festival in Sydney. This is the 5th Taiwan Festival to have been held, and it was held in Victoria Avenue in Chatswood, at the southern end of my electorate, and indeed at the northern end of the electorate of my very good friend, the member for North Sydney. And in fact, both the member for North Sydney and I were present at this very important event. The Taiwanese Australian community is a significant community around Australia and indeed within my electorate of Bradfield. As at the time of the most recent census, there were over 28,000 people born in Taiwan living in Australia, and they were preponderantly to be found in Sydney and in Brisbane. Interestingly, almost half of those in Australia who were born in Taiwan have arrived in Australia in the last 10 years. And the richness and vigour of Taiwanese community activity is really quite impressive, particularly when you consider the proportion of those who have arrived in the last 10 years. Certainly the Taiwan Festival Sydney, held in Chatswood, featured more than 30 stalls. There was traditional Taiwanese food stalls in a night market style setting. There were a range of craft and cultural exhibits, and there were popular children's folk games to introduce young people to Taiwanese culture. The event was well supported by local dignitaries, and I do want to commend Mr James Kuo, the chairman of the Taiwan Festival, Mr Chang Liang Ming, the Chief Secretary of the Overseas Community Affairs Council from Taiwan, Mr Morgan Chung, the Deputy Director General of the Taipei Economic and Culture Office in Sydney, and also Mr Paul Lin. The purpose of this festival, this very important festival, is to give people of Taiwanese origin living in Sydney the chance to connect or reconnect with their culture, to allow the next generation of Taiwanese Australians a better understanding of their culture and heritage, but also, very importantly, to showcase to the broader Australian community the contribution being made by those of Taiwanese background. And the vigour of the cultural activities, of course the quality of some of the delicious food on offer, and many other features of this event, I think very successfully achieved the objective of communicating to the broader Australian community the vigour of the Taiwanese Australian community. So let me express my thanks to everybody involved in organising this very significant event, the 5th Taiwan Festival Sydney. I was pleased to participate, and I hope that I'll have the opportunity to participate in future such events.
I thank the member.